Currently, almost 70,000 people are sitting in prisons for drug-related charges in America, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons on February 20th, 2021. Because of this and many other reasons, the United States should strive to end the drug war. A large sum of tax money every year is put towards incarcerating people. 15% of these incarcerated people are in there for drug-related charges. As substance abusers become more popular in the midst of society, research has become more abundant and focused on ending the drug war in a way that benefits society and the person abusing the substances. Today, I will define my terms. Today, I will also set the limits for my debate, and today I will also prove my case in the application. First, I will begin by defining the terms of my proposition. The phrase war on drugs refers to the current legal practices intended to eradicate all drugs in the United States. The United States refers to the criminal justice system as well as the government of the United States. Should end implies the benefits being reaped from ending the drug war. With the definitions defined, I will now set the limits for the arguments. The limit allows for the arguments such as the harm drugs can do to a society, as well as in regards to the benefits of the current drug system. The limit does not allow for arguments that focus on the view of specific drugs or arguments that view drugs individually rather than as a whole. Now that we've discussed the definitions of the proposition and set the limits for the debate, I want to prove my case that the stance of the war on drugs has hurt the effort to contain the drug problem. Recent studies have proven that incarcerating drug offenders is less effective than rehabilitating them. According to Betsy Pearl in American Progress in 2018, incarceration is linked with increased mortality from overdose. In the first 2 weeks after release from prison, individuals are almost 13 times more likely to die than the general population. The leading cause of death among recent released individuals is overdose. Betsy Pearl, American Progress, Ending the War on Drugs by the Numbers, June 27th, 2018. Incarcerating individuals for drug charges only adds to the already high cost of housing, feeding, and improving medical care to the incarcerated population. Rehabilitating these individuals will lessen the time they were put away, and therefore lessen the cost of putting them behind bars for years or even sometimes decades. Now that we've seen how incarcerating drug offenders serves little benefit to the incarcerated or society, I'd like to evaluate the effects of restricting information from a curious species, humans. Prohibition of drug research and misinformation has led to overdoses as well as spread of diseases like HIV. Lack of education on how to properly and safely consume drugs has led to the deaths of thousands of people. Not knowing how much to take of a substance can lead to highly dangerous effects. Prohibition of this information in hopes to deter people only sends them into it blindly and dangerously. People every year contract HIV and other diseases from things like sharing needles due to unsafe drug practices. According to Ancela Voets from Frontline AIDS in June of 2020, in countries where the war on drugs has been fought aggressively, like Russia, the number of people living with HIV has tripled since 2000. As misinformation can lead to the harm of individuals consuming drugs, it can also have an effect on the types of drugs being marketed. As more drugs are confiscated and resources for synthesizing these substances dwindle, the desire to make shortcuts to market fake drugs has caused a rise in deaths over the past decade. New and synthetic drugs are introduced to the market all the time. It's no secret that these sometimes toxic chemicals are barely tested and not regulated due to the illegal standing of substance use. Fake drugs like spice and bath salts have hurt hundreds of people trying to find a legal loophole in the drug war. Most of the time, these fake drugs are more dangerous than the real ones and leave people with more to be concerned with than a simple overdose. The National Poison and Control Center, Dangers of Illegal Spice and Bath Salts. In conclusion, now that my argument has been made, I can conclude my arguments. The United States should end the drug war. Today, I defined the terms of my proposition, I set the limits for my argument, and I evaluated the different attributes that influence the failure of the drug war, such as harsh punishments that hold no beneficiary results, effects of the lack of education and research, on a popular and unavoidable topic, and the rise in legal synthetic versions of recreational drugs due to criminalization of substances. The war on drugs has failed many times at finding a solution to the drug problem, as well as added to the rise of substance abuse by inputting a sense of control where it's not widely accepted. The war on drugs has wasted tax money and wrongfully inflicted a cycle of incarceration on people stuck in its web for 70 years. But that doesn't mean we have to continue to make the same mistakes.